Hi, it's Oddball1975 and welcome to Elite Dangerous on the Legacy version of Xbox. Now please sit down, strap in, this one is going to get wild. This is going to have some very, very odd ideas about how the game works, so be warned.
Oh shit, here we go again.
Again, I apologise if you can hear the storm, but I'm recording this on a night there's a storm outside, and it's quite bad actually. But this guy was really randomly salty. He was friends with the guys from the last video that combat logged. The trade wing that I interdicted a couple of their members and they logged repeatedly on me. He then interdicted me and sent me a chat invite or a chat comms thing, which I cancelled because I was in party chat with like 9 people all playing Elite and I didn't want to leave that party to go chat with some random guy. I decided to shoot at him because I had no idea why he wanted to interdict me, so you know, I was just shooting at him. He says it took me like 30 seconds or a minute or something to get his shields down. Yeah, it wasn't that long to get his shields down, to be honest, and I'm not really trying that hard. You know, I'm just drifting along, just shooting at him. But later he'll say that my ship's really weak. Well, it is, because it's a pirate ship. It's not one of my PvP ones, it's a pirate ship. It has less shields than my PvP ones, less weaponry than my PvP ones, weaker weaponry than my PvP ones. Oh yeah, and it's got like all the piracy tools on it because it's a pirate ship. But this guy was hilarious because he called me a bully and a coward, which I love. The man defending the honour of combat loggers is calling me a coward. It's just so random. A man so brave that he goes on to block me. Oh, just peachy. That's sort of heroics. What can you expect? Yeah, I really wasn't expecting a lot from this commander. He claims that I struggled to kill him, and it's like, well, considering I put my weapons away and jumped away from him and didn't pay any attention to him, like I wasn't looking to kill him. You know, I had no idea why he was bothering to interdict me. But then he said the same message, come back and take your rebuy like a man. What rebuy? I don't owe anyone a rebuy. Your mates are the ones that combat logged. They owe people rebuys for their crimes and their cheating. I don't owe anyone a rebuy.
So much later that the old narrator got tired of waiting and they had to hire a new one.
Now he's going to send a bunch of messages calling me a coward and saying I'd vanished. I'd actually stayed exactly where I was in system patrol in the start. The reason I'd vanished for him was he was winged with someone who'd already blocked me, one of the combat loggers. So then he was crying about him not being able to find me, and I was having to point out that the problem was that he was winged with a combat logger that had blocked me. I can see why he was confused as to where I'd gone, because he clearly is an idiot. So obviously when I get jumped by him and said combat logger, I don't waste any time, but I just go after him because, well, he's the easy kill. The combat logger's in an anaconda, and yeah, like I say, I'm in a weak pirate ship with 2 beam lasers and a couple of missile racks. Not exactly, and fixed missile racks at that. So not exactly devastating weaponry, but then I turn my attention to the combat logging anaconda. Now obviously these guys are running crimes because, you know, what you'd expect. Combat loggers and their allies, you know, are not going to PvP or 1v1 or play fair. And obviously they were like, you're the criminal, which is true. I am the criminal. And also I don't expect honourable behaviour from complete sleaze and cheats. I mean, why would I? You know, I mean, I've been playing this game long enough to know that people who combat log don't generally go in for 1v1s honourably. They'll attack you 2v1, 3v1, 4v1 all happily, but if you actually get a combat ship and come after them, they'll combat log if you start winning. That's the worst type of combat logger, someone that's happy to PvP as long as it's going in their favour, and this guy was definitely one of those. So I was really glad when the FDL decided to jump back into this instance because, hell, I'm not going to last too long against this Conda. As you can see, I'm not really doing that much damage to him. Discolored his outer ring, that's it. I could have started orbiting him. However, I was just camping 4 pips to shields at this point. I wasn't planning to hang around. This is where he goes on about that earlier incident, reckoning it took an entire minute for me to break his shields in that earlier fight. I think 27 seconds is not an entire minute, but you be the judge. I mean, the clip's in there from earlier, and yeah, it's not an entire minute before his shields drop. But I'm only in a pirate ship. If you want to actually 1v1 me in a combat ship, challenge me to a 1v1, I'll go get a combat ship and come over. In fact, after this incident, when I jump away, I went and got my combat anaconda and come back, because that's a combat ship and that's an anaconda. So a fair fight would be an anaconda versus an anaconda. You know, 2v1ing a weak pirate ship, yeah, I don't mind. I mean, I stood up pretty well to the challenge. What I should have done, well, I mean, I could have just drawn this out like it's just jousting him and flying away, because, you know, like, I could just sit and let my shields recharge and come back around for slow, lazy passes. It's a bitch move, but I've obviously got the speed over the anaconda, but I'm not about to do that because it takes hours. Yeah, this is when he was calling me a coward, saying that I'd disappeared and run off when I was sat at the Star pirating people that came into the system. You know, he's calling me a coward and stuff like that, and it's like, you clearly don't understand instancing. The fact that you're winged with someone who's got me blocked prohibits me ever instancing with you. It's not my fault, that's a you problem. He obviously explains to the anaconda, because the anaconda did then unblock me to have this little incident and then block me again. Now the fun thing was, as soon as I realised the FDL was back, obviously I switched target to the weak and pathetic FDL, because why not? It's an easy kill. And if I can kill two things and fly away, well, I'm taking that as a victory. You know, these guys weren't exactly what I'd call the smartest cookies, because apparently he was supposed to be bait to then let the anaconda destroy me. Well, yeah, for that to work, dude, you've got to keep me in range of the anaconda and not fly off in the opposite direction. Your teamwork and tactics were a little bit flawed, to be honest. Yeah, I would have probably, you know, tried some different tactics. I mean, it's cringe. It really was a bit of a cringy fight. He's got, for some reason, he came at me with AX multi-cannons. The advanced multi-cannons, the same as actually I got an advanced missile rack on this. So Fargoid killing equipment in a bi-weave FDL. And then he moans at me because his ship's weak. It's like, well, you chose to come after me in it. I mean, like, I'm not choosing your golf club. You can choose your own bat out of your fleet carrier. I mean, you know, hence why after this I went and got my anaconda to come back with. But unfortunately, when I came back in an actual combat ship, typically what happens is the you know, the cockroaches all disappear off as soon as you put the light on. And yeah, combat loggers don't want to deal with fragcondas, because you know, they just don't. They don't want to deal with fair fights, and they don't want to deal with anacondas. So anyway, so I was thinking I'll just fly away and low wake up. And at this point I've let the messages catch up with the messages in game. So if you're wondering where there's a long gap between his last messages and now, at this point all the messages before were before this fight started. This message was actually sent to me now, as you'll see. You know, I'll kind of show you a bit of the message coming in, and there we go. And he's like, why are you running? So I thought, you know, I'd go with a nice simple answer, and then I'd go back and kill him another time, because it's really easy to kill him. Then he starts complaining about being rammed and stuff. You can't even take my shields without ramming me. I took your shields in like 28 seconds earlier without ramming you. And yeah, well, why wouldn't I ram you? It's actually a perfectly allowable tactic, I'm afraid to say. It takes two people to ram. You can dodge the ram, you know, you can try and avoid it. You don't have to let me ram you by heading directly at me. But clearly, like I say, I think he's just an incompetent newbie who had no clue what he's doing. And so I decided to put a bit of silent running on so I could survive long enough to claim a second kill. And yeah, then I will low wake out of disrespect for the anaconda, because there's no point in me fighting a combat logger. They will just log if they start losing. So there's absolutely zero incentive to stay. Now I've killed the FDL twice. So yeah, time to say Bon voyage, my heart is indeed. And so I low waked for maximum disrespect, then high waked over to my carrier and got my anaconda, came back to come hunt these people down, but by then they'd blocked me, because they're such brave, honourable people who... No, they're just pathetic, really. It's a bit sad. You know, shouting about how someone's a coward when you're blocking them to avoid them, it's kind of cringe. It's a bit silly, you know. But what can you do? Some players are like this, some players are quite amusing. So, yeah, I killed him twice, and that's when they're 2v1 and ghosting in. I mean, come on. Like, you're not supposed to ghost back into fights. Anyone knows that. It's a faux pas. And then you're flying with a combat logger. You're defending and flying with combat loggers. That's terrible. You can call me a bully all you like because I'm trying to pirate trade ships. You know, it's odd that a pirate interdicting and trying to rob trade ships, and the fact that I didn't actually shoot at your trade ship friends until after they logged is kind of hilarious, because you can't really call me a bully for shooting at ships that weren't even there at the time I was shooting at them. So I went up 2-0 and went back to my carrier to fetch more firepower, because I'm in a very weak pirate ship. And yeah, I feel one of my combat ships would have been able to kill both of them quite easily. And honestly, I'm happy to 1v1 any member of that squadron, any member of that wing, any person they know. Because I've 1v1 the best in the game, and I don't care about losing a 1v1. It doesn't bother me, it's no skin off my nose. I do like the fact that he's now saying that I didn't even break his shields for 2 minutes. 2 minutes in that earlier incident. That's getting rather ridiculous now. And also he's talking about team tactics. I didn't notice any team tactics. He got separated from his anaconda and got killed twice. I mean, you know, at least try some formation stuff. But anyway, it's all a good laugh. That's all. Thanks for watching.